Okay, so, all right, so Laurent, I hope I pronounce it. How different is accompaniment from playing solo piano, and where should my focus be since I want to play worship? Okay, all right. So how different is accompaniment? So let's put it like, let me put it here. How different is Sir, 1 second. I gotta move this screen over so I can see some stuff. Okay, so thank you guys for your patience here. Okay. So how different is accompaniment? Let's say here, accompaniment versus solo piano. Okay, Robert, let's use the black because it doesn't look like the green is coming through. Okay, so let's go like this. Accompaniment versus solo piano. Okay, so I can tell you just off the top, solo piano takes more work. And the reason why it takes more work is because you're solo. It's like if you were lifting a heavy weight. If you do it by yourself, it's going to be, let's say it was 400 pounds, right? Trying to lift 400 pounds on your own may be a little bit hard. However, if you have others that accompany you, then it's a little bit lighter load. So what am I saying? So the difference here is solo piano, you're going to have to do a couple things. So you're going to have to do, let's say if there's no bass player, you're going to have to do the low part as a bass. You're going to have your chords, and you may have to have your melody so that everything can sound complete. All right, so that's why in the NEQ music system, I'm eventually going to teach you a principle called progressions with melodies, where you can play the bass, you can play the chord, and you can play the melody at the same time. So you'll be playing, so instead of playing, well, I'll show you the difference in a second. So accompaniment would be that you accompany, so you don't have to do all the work. Now, most of the time when you're playing with a band or in a group, with a singer singing, you just have to play the accompaniment. It's a lot easier. So your focus with accompaniment would just be, you know, playing the chords. Now, if you have a bass player, you don't have to worry about the bass, right? Or playing all the way down here on the low parts of the piano or the organ or whatever you're playing in terms of keyboard, because they're going to take care of that. You just have to play the chords. So you have to get good at either playing rather basic chords, or you get good at playing, playing different bigger chords that you can actually put together. All right, so that would be the purpose of that. So your focus would just be an accompaniment, just playing. So let's say if there was, I don't want to sing, right? But let's say that was the melody, right? So if I'm playing accompaniment, I just have to play the chords. Right? Obviously that's basic. But if we do it a little bit easier, let's say I was playing accompaniment a little bit, not easier, a little bit more advanced. So right? So I can actually put all of that stuff in. It frees me up because actually, well, was I playing the melody there? No, I was playing the chords, right? But I can actually free myself up to do a little bit more because somebody else is taking the melody. So in terms of accompaniment, the basic way of accompaniment would be this. Would basically be like your right hand can play the chord and your left hand can play the basic root. All right, just the main key. That's the basic form of playing it. Another part of accompaniment is where both right hand could play the chord and your left hand could play a part of a chord. So you can play, let's say, 2 notes, or it can play even 3 notes that complement and form chords. I have a teaching or webinar that I've done that's called left hand, which is the things that you can do with your left hand, and I call them completer. So they can complete a chord. So instead of playing the right hand playing C major and your left hand playing just C by itself, then I can have my right hand playing the chord, left hand playing the 1, the 5, and the 7, right? And then my right hand can switch to a different chord, right? So that's what I call, and then I can play that as accompaniment. Da, 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 da. All right, so then I can accompany. Now, solo piano is I'm going to have to do all that myself. So if you're playing basic, then you'd have to be like, well, not this. My hand just slipped. But you'd have to be like, right? That's basic. So you'd have to do that. And the reason why you have to have that melody is because people need to know what you're playing, or they'll just be hearing you playing the songs. You'll just be hearing you playing chords and you can't tell. All right? Now, when you're playing accompaniment, then obviously that can be covered. But when you're playing the solo piano, right? So what did I do? I played solo piano, right? My focus was playing the melody and the chords and arrangements. So that's basically how you do it. Okay, now obviously that's the short answer to your question, but hopefully that answers a little bit. What should my focus be, since I want to play worship? So yeah, so when you're playing the worship songs, Laurent, all you have to do is basically just play the chords to accompany the singer that's going to be singing, all right? But you make sure you master principles, all right? That's very important. And I know you have this system. Okay.